The importance of reflection and observation in the early childhood setting. What is observation? Observation includes identifying what is seen and experienced. It is necessary for the early childhood practitioner towards refining their practice, hence maximizing a child's learning opportunities. According to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, observation is an act of recognizing and noting a fact or occurrence, often involving measurement with instruments. Consequently, observation in the early childhood setting entails actively monitoring a child's behavior, attentively listening to conversations with the child and between peers, and using previous knowledge to aptly describe what is experienced as it happens.
Two major observational roles of the early years practitioner. Role number 1, the role of a record keeper. The record keeper is to keep records of each student's progress. This can be done through assessment. Assessment is when the necessary information needed is gathered to help in the decision-making process. There are two forms of assessment, formative and summative assessment. Formative assessment is an assessment that can be done immediately. It helps the practitioner to get a better understanding of the strengths and weaknesses of the student. On the other hand, summative assessment is done over a longer period of time, for instance, at the end of every term. The second role we look at is listening skills. Listening skills is imperative as it benefits not only the child but the practitioner as well. It gives the practitioner a better understanding of the child's personality, emotions, and their daily needs and concerns. A practitioner who listens allows children the comfort of expressing themselves freely.
The importance of observation in the early childhood setting. The importance of observation in the early childhood setting. Observation is critical in the early childhood setting for the following reasons. 1. It's important so that the teacher can reflect and make necessary improvements to teaching methods and classroom arrangement. Forming bonds with children is critically important, and working with parents is also very important. Observation provides the knowledge and information about the children for teachers to collaborate with parents or carers and work with them for the progression and improvement of their child. Observation is critical with respect to gaining understanding and forming bonds with children. Observation helps teachers to gain knowledge about personalities, emotions, behaviors, interests, strengths, and weaknesses. It allows the teacher to bond and form a better understanding of each child.
Now here's the scenario and the solution. The teacher announced to the children, it is free play time. She allowed the children to choose the area or the center in which they would like to play. The children chose the area using clothespins of different colors. Each child went to the area and began their work. This went on for about 15 minutes before the teacher decided to give her attention to the children. As she was about to do so, she heard Jenny screaming, "Auntie Pat, Auntie Pat, Benji cut my hair." As she approached the center, she found that Benji, who chooses to play in the cutting area, took a pair of scissors and instead of cutting the paper, had cut a large amount of Jenny's hair. She immediately removed Benji from the center and discussed with him his behavior. Now the solutions can be: the teacher should have discussion with the children about the use of the scissors and how dangerous it is, and demonstrate to the children about how to use the scissors. Secondly, the teacher should be more vigilant in the area where children are using the tools such as the scissors. According to Curtis 2000, cited by the North American Association for Environmental Education, keeping children safe is paramount to the work we do every minute when we are with children. We must always stop or prevent situations that threaten children's well-being.
Practicum observation methods. Observation of children. During the practicum experience, group members were assigned to early childhood teachers who showed them the different methods used in observation. Two such methods used for observation of children were the checklist and anecdotal records. Anecdotal records are used to tell the teacher if there are any challenges in the learning or how they interact with other children. According to Gordon and Brown, both these methods are easy to develop and they capture important information and moments. These methods were mainly used during and after center time. Observation of the classroom. Jottings were used by teachers and group members for observing the classroom environment. It is a perfect method of observation for capturing everyday classroom moments, and it does not have to be professionally documented to be effective. Jottings were used to document phrases, answers to questions, and conversations shared by the children, and they were mainly used during class time and activity time. Observation of parent, family, and teacher interaction. The only method that was suitable for this case was the journal. Any interactions were silently observed and privately documented by group members. It was mainly used after every practicum day to document and reflect upon afterwards. It was used from day to day and is full of details that describe events in the sequence in which they had happened. We now present our video on the essential role of observation and documentation in early childhood.
I observe and document in a variety of different ways. I tend to do a lot of watching and listening and note-taking, and I love to write quotes down from the children because that shows me really what they're excited about and what they're taking away from it. Through documentation and observation, I get to see what the children are learning, what is the most fun, what's really hooking in with them, what maybe I will want to do for the next unit because this has lit a fire about something else and it's connected, but it could be even more. And I think that observing and documenting your children is a truly important thing to remember to do, because if you don't have that, then you're not really paying attention. And by paying close attention to each child at different times during the day, you really get to know them and you get to know their heart and you get to know their interests, and through that you build a classroom that is based on each individual's personal strengths and differences and interests, and it makes for a classroom that's very tight and cohesive, and very exciting and alive, because children have the best ideas, bottom line.